Okay, we have our art box carrying case. We've emptied it out, so it's totally empty. I'll just open this one to show that this one's empty. It's ready to go. So what we need to do now is add our breadboards on here that we put together in a previous step. I'm going to remove this label from this box and just gently peel it off of here. Like so. And I'll move this off to the side. I won't need that anymore. So this box is now ready to go. I'm going to turn it this way because I want to be sure that the handle and the latches are facing towards me and that it's also right side up. So for this particular box, the latches open up and then you can open the lid and also notice how the handle is on the top half of the box, or the lid side. So I want this side to be facing up. That's the side that the label was on for this box, and that the latches fold up and I can lift the box like so. So I need this side up. I'm going to face the handle and latches towards me because I want my breadboards to be placed like such. I want it to be sitting about like that. But first I want to kind of get this breadboard centered on this box, and I want it away from the edge here a certain distance. So what I need to do before I stick this breadboard down permanently is I need to measure the width of my complete breadboard. It's about 7.5 inches. And my box, I need a longer tape measure for this, is about, let's just say 14.5 inches. So my breadboard's 7.5, my box is 14.5, and I want to get equal distance away from either side to center the breadboard. And I also want my breadboard to be about 3/4 of an inch or so away from the edge of the box right here. So I think what I'll first do is I'm going to take this off and set it to the side. And I'm going to use a pencil because I don't want any permanent markings on here. I am going to measure from this side first, and I'm going to measure from both sides. This is just a personal preference, and I'm going to measure 3/4 of an inch from the edge here. And you probably won't be able to see that mark in the camera, but that's okay. I'm just measuring the 3/4 of an inch mark. And then I'll make one in the middle here too, because I'm going to use my ruler as a straight edge. Then I'll create just a guideline here for me for when I place the breadboard onto the box. Okay. Now I said that my breadboard was 7.5 inches wide and my box is 14.5 inches wide. So I have 7 inches of play, and half of that is 3.5 inches. So I need to come 3.5 inches from the edge, and I'll make my mark here, and I'll come 3.5 inches from the edge and make my mark there. That way I know I have it centered, and I'll grab my breadboard again. And I'm not going to stick it down yet. What I want to do is just go between the marks I just made and line them up on the edges of my breadboard on either side, and then line this edge with the line that I just created 3/4 of an inch away from this edge, just to kind of look at everything. I mean, it doesn't have to be too perfect. I mean, I think that looks good. And then later we'll add this section up here too, and I'll just eyeball to center this one. So in order to attach this, I'm going to need to flip it over, and I need to peel all the backings off of this, because we're going to stick it down onto the lid of this art box. So this material, this paper material here, just protects the sticky backing of these breadboards. So now I want to flip this all over without it falling apart on me. I'm going to put it on its edge like this. I'm going to line it up with my markings. Lay it down gently, taking my time. And then I guess that looks good. And I'm going to press down, not too hard, because this lid is kind of a flimsy wood. It's just a cheap wood box, but it's sturdy enough for doing electronics projects and stuff. And what's great about this art box that we're using here is that it works as a carry case and holding all of our electronics inside when we start putting our power supply on here. So we can put in, our components and other items and all of our goodies in there. We can carry it on the go. And I think it's a pretty neat, nifty project. So now I got my two connected power rails here, and I'm going to remove the paper off of it, revealing the sticky backing. And like I said, I'm just going to eyeball this one. You can measure it out if you want, but to try to get it perfectly centered, but I'm not too worried about it. I can see that my negative marks on my power rail just about line up perfectly with the letter B on each side, this letter B and this letter B. So that's pretty good. And I'll push it down kind of firm to stick it all down in place. Remembering not to press too hard because I don't want to break the wood box. I mean, you'd have to press fairly hard to crack this box, but I'm sure it's possible. It's just a thin wood material. So there we have it. We've emptied out our wooden art set box. This is going to be our carrying case. We've placed our 3220 point breadboard and stuck it onto our box. We had measured out the box's center for our, or we centered our breadboard onto the box. And again, we left a little room here away from the edge of the box right here. And we also made sure that we stuck our breadboard onto the lid side or the handle side of the box. That way, when you're working, you can just open the latches and be able to flip up and reach inside for whatever you need or put away and then close it back.